Okay, so I'm going to start off with what they're talking about, then I'll get into some other things. They're talking about how big I am in person. So at one point, said I lied on an acting resume. Told you guys I took acting classes, and they wanted us to construct a resume, and they told us what to list on it. So they were like, "You never did this, you never did that." Those were things I did in the class, and I was told to put it on. So at the time, I would have been like in my 20s, so I could have been like 5'4.5", almost 5'5", but with heels I was definitely, like, I would wear, like, back then, those chunky heels, so I could have easily added 2 inches. But I think I was 5'6", because 5'7" is usually at that time in the 90s like a tall person, so I could get away with like 5'6", but I couldn't get away with 5'7". So at one time I was measured, and I was almost 5'5". And so then when I went to 5'3", I told you guys in a video, I can't find it probably, but that's weird for me. I'm not 5'3". I'm usually over 5'4", but less than 5'5". So they said in person I look big. I actually am not big in person. I think what it is when I was growing up, people were tall, and people now for some reason aren't as tall. I think, when I was growing up, at about 5'4", 5'5", I was considered shorter. We had people around me who were like over 5'7", easily, like even as teenagers. So by the time I was like in my 20s, those people were like 5'8", you know. But now when I'm walking down the street, even at over 5'4", I seem taller than a lot of the people. So they keep going on about how big I look in person, but I was always this size. So I think what happened was when I started to have the level scoliosis, I seemed shorter. But again, when the woman measured me, she kind of pressed down a bit on my head also. So it wasn't like she was going to give me like that extra half an inch. So let me tell you what they were upset about. They said that now that people aren't hearing the voices, they're kind of lost. Well, here's what I think. If having people try to mind control you was okay, then you wouldn't do what it takes to get rid of it. It takes a lot to get rid of it. I mean, you have to make sure you don't have the inflammation, the swelling. You would have to stay in the same place and have these people do this to you repeatedly, which I did. They said, am I at any point going to feel sorry that I said I was going to stay and fight it out? No. Mm-mm. That was the point. The point is human trafficking. The point is to get you to leave where you are and go someplace else where you don't know people, where you're more vulnerable. So, to me, if this is going to happen to me, if I'm in a hotel or someplace else, I'd rather it be where I'm familiar. The other thing is they were critical again. They're very critical, and I think what I'm going to go, I'm doing something now with Irrational. I'm going to go with the criticism and how I'm supposed to react. So this is all out loud. Oh, by the way, they said to tell you folks, they were like, let them know they admit they used names years before I even came on camera and talked about this stuff. And so that was their way of kind of trying to make this seem okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Nothing they can ever say or do will ever make the situation okay. They said someone left in a comment that maybe we would have gone along with it. I never would have agreed to this. I would never agree to this type of system at all. So they said they were going to make it like social credit in China. And that's my point. How can we be the hypocrites where we criticize China and then on the next hand we're trying to replicate an oppressive system that China implemented? Who does that? Like, how can you live with yourselves? So they wanted to say that, there are some black men involved in this. Well, those black men, I want to ask you folks, how do you live with yourselves? We look at things and say, they said at one point, I used to say, if World War II were to happen again, how would people respond? Again, I'm saying the same thing. It's not okay to excuse bad behavior because it's a black person or a Jewish person or a gay person, or no, just because you are a member of a vulnerable group doesn't mean you can commit a crime. We've passed that. But I think what's worse is that you would even have the 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 low level to put yourself in that group when you're criminals. You should, if you're going to do a crime, say, hey, I'm doing the crime. It has nothing to do with me being this, that, or the other. Don't hide behind that as an excuse. and expect people who are also in a category of vulnerability to say, you know what, I'll let it slip because you're in a vulnerable position. I'm also in a vulnerable position. So they wanted to say that, I told you guys, I've said this repeatedly, something with my neck. I've shown you the paperwork. I don't have to keep going over that. So they wanted to criticize me because I don't move my neck a lot. You guys who have watched me notice when I'm feeling okay, I move my neck. If I'm not, I keep it straight. And so they were critical of that. Then they were critical because I I got a treat today. I've been trying to eat a little treats because I don't do anything else. Like you guys see me. I don't get a chance to do anything fun. And I haven't for a long time, years when I say a long time. So I got McDonald's and we were gonna order the McFrappe. It's $2. And so the woman couldn't understand what my mom was saying. She was saying the light and the dark one, meaning a caramel and a mocha. So I said I said what she meant to say or something along those lines. But they're talking at the same time I'm talking. And they were very critical of that because she was like, she was confused. She said, "You mean like a coffee? You know how they can make the coffee and they can put your own milk in and make a light one and a dark one." And so as they're talking, she's talking, they thought I was being rude. What I'm saying is this: there is no way you can have people talking to you while you're talking to other people and a third person is there. It's hard enough for me to talk to you guys with just me and a camera. Imagine two other people responding and trying to comprehend. And so then they became critical of her. And then they were critical of my mother. My point is, they're just critical people. So they said I'm giving them exactly what they wanted, but then they said they're giving me exactly what I wanted. I think in some ways we're giving each other exactly what we want. I wanted to expose them. They want to be exposed. Hey, why would you be upset now? We both got what we wanted. I want you exposed. I want the world to see what you really are. You clearly want to show the world what you are. They admitted it started in 2016 because they thought when I got sick, I was faking it because I can't be a human being yet. They knew it. They said, they admitted it. They knew I got sick because of this situation. So when I'm telling you these things, they feel like I would feel embarrassed or I would feel shame about it. What I'm explaining to the world, because I put these videos out for the public and I'm not hiding it. They're hiding. Is that they wanted to say that I'm attracted to white men. I'm attracted to men, period. I'm attracted to white men.